Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dragon's Library. Before I get started today, I want to go ahead and bring everyone up to date with my recent absence. Last week I went on a greatly needed vacation and some issues with the pre-planned uploads prevented me from having the reviews up for that time period. However, I am back now and will hopefully be able to keep a more consistent schedule in the future. I got some rest and I'm ready to get back to work. So with all that out of the way, let's continue on today's review. So today I will be reviewing the latest season of one of my favorite series, The Dragon Prince Season 4, The Mysteries of Erebos. It is out, and I'm just so excited. For those of you who haven't heard this show before, you can check out my reviews of the previous seasons in the 2 reviews linked below. Do be warned, those were some of my first episodes back when I was releasing them as a podcast, so the quality is questionable at best, and honestly, I would generally prefer people watch some of my newer stuff if possible. Since I want as few people to hear those episodes as can be helped, I'm just going to go give a brief overview of seasons 1 through 3. Warning, this does include spoiler for season 1 through 3. Okay, so The Dragon Prince is an animated fantasy series released by Netflix and created by Aaron Eschas and Justin Richmond. For those of you unaware, Aaron was the head writer for Avatar: The Last Airbender, which means he's really good at writing these kinds of shows. The Dragon Prince takes place in a fantasy world called Zadia, where all magical creatures are connected to one of 6 primal sources. Humans, born without magic, eventually find a way to channel magic of other creatures by killing them, which is dark magic. After this discovery, the elves and dragons banish them to the other side of the continent. 1,000 years later, a king from the kingdom of Contolis, King Harrow, and his dark mage advisor Viren kill the Dragon King Avazandum and destroy his egg, the heir to his throne, the Dragon Prince. However, months later, when the elves send assassins, a young moonchild elf named Rayla, and several others to kill King Harrow and his heir, Prince Ezrin, they discover the truth. Rayla encounters Ezrin and Callum, Ezrin's older stepbrother, and discover Viren had not destroyed the egg, but rather kept it to be used for dark magic. Realizing there was a chance for peace, the children steal the egg and flee to Zadia, but are unable to prevent Rayla's comrades from killing King Harrow in the process. Basically, that's the setup of the show, the world. So we gotta return the Dragon Prince to Zadia to try and broker peace. First season sees Viren taking power while the children go out and try and return the egg. Viren sends out his 2 children, Claudia and Soren, to stop them. And it's mostly episodic adventures leading to the main plot, encountering other side characters. Second season, they're about halfway to Zadia. Callum has to gain a true connection to the Sky Primal because he had to give the stone to hatch the Dragon Prince, who's now a character. His name is Asmodeus, and just Zim for short. He's great. I love Zim. One of my favorite dragons. Top 5 at least. Top 5. It's a packed list. I have a lot of good dragons to choose from. Temeraire, Toothless, Saphira, Zim. There's just so many fun little dragons to choose from. They're all so great. Anyway, Callum is trying to gain, full-on sky magic because he had to use a magic stone to do it. Rayla is trying to lead them through all this. Ezra has to go back and be king. There's a lot of stuff going on. Season 3 basically has them returning the Dragon Prince through the final trek through Zadia itself, where Viren has, taken control of the kingdom and is now leading the human kingdoms to war. And they have a final big old battle at the Stormspire, where Viren is thrown off a ledge, and, we kind of get like a sort of happy ending. But they got 7 seasons planned out for this, so we're going to get a lot more fun here. So that's basically where Season 3 ended. We had a post-credit scene where Viren was brought back to life, and the creepy bug, which is connected to a star-touched elf that's been manipulating him, called Erebos, who's going to be like the main overarching bad guy, who's been manipulating Viren ever since he discovered a magic mirror, is now kind of coming into this world, or doing it. And so this season is the mystery of Erebos. That's what this whole next 3 seasons is going to be about. It's about Erebos, him trying to escape his prison, and using Viren and Claudia to do it. Sorry about that massive explanation. I needed some context for those of you who hadn't watched the show. You should, might add, watch this show, because it is a very good show. I'm just going to tell you right up front, I'm going to recommend this. The season starts out with a 2-year time skip. Callum is studying the mirror. Ezrin is attempting to work with Zubeia, Zim's mom, and Zim to foster a permanent peace. And Rayla left mysteriously to go search for Claudia. During a celebration of the victory, Claudia steals back Viren's staff, and it is revealed that she is in a race against time to free Erebos, before the 1 month of life Claudia restored to Viren's body runs out. With this new greater threat revealed, the gang must work together to find Erebos' hidden prison and prevent his return. So we got a great new season of Dragon Prince out, and let's move on to the characters. We got Callum, Rayla, and Ezrin all returning. They have great voice actors. Callum has Jack Decina, which he played Sokka in Avatar: The Last Airbender, so it's kind of funny seeing him pop up in this series again. Because, same writer. Ezrin and Rayla, both their voice actors are doing a great job. I'm a little annoyed with the way they kind of reset Callum and Rayla's relationship back to zero by having them both angry at each other the whole season, because I think it's cheap writing. But I'll get onto that later. Ezrin is just a joy, and I really like that him and Zim got a lot of time to themselves, because he was separated from Zim for most of the third season. So it's really nice. We get to see Zim all grown up. Zubeia takes a more central role. We only got her for a few scenes. She was asleep for almost everything but the final few scenes, so that was good. Soren is also turning into just a fan favorite. He's voiced by Jesse Inokala. He's fully transitioned to a good guy. He's now the crown guard. He has several whole scenes to himself, a whole side arc while they're going through the Earth tunnels. It's great. I really like him. He's turned into a lot of fun because he was kind of the dumb asshole Team Rocket character with Claudia early on in the first season, but he kind of realized his dad was an asshole and just ended up siding with the good guys. I really like redeemed villains. I mean, most people do. They're fun. But Soren genuinely was a pretty good guy, and watching him realize something that Claudia couldn't, because she's the academic smart one, but she's also very magic obsessed and very, very loyal to their father, so she's unwilling to see the faults where Soren definitely does see them. And I like how he's still trying to reach out to her and get her to stop, because she's being very self-destructive right now. In addition, we also have Erebos, and let's put it this way, Erebos has an amazing voice actor. See, Eric Todd Dellums voiced a villain in the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender, season of Pole, called Ko the Face Stealer. And that guy, oh my god, the voice was fantastic. Ko's voice, the whole scene with him and Aang was amazing. Might put something on screen if I'm, have time. But he was supposed to return apparently for some other stuff, but things happened and blah blah blah, television problems. I've heard rumors that he was supposed to play a more central role as a villain though. And this just feels like, what if they got that voice actor to be a central villain? Because he has this excellently overwhelming, subtle cruelty. You can actually believe this guy can bring down an entire kingdom with nothing more than a few words. Okay? It's realistic. It's terrifying. He has this really imposing presence whenever he's on screen. We only get 2 major scenes with him. But my gods, he is fantastic. Honestly, I got chills. Moving on to the writing, as expected, the season has a fantastic story whose only flaw is that I want more. We get to see more about the dragons and the internal politics of Zadia and the elves. We didn't really get a lot of that because we were dealing with the human politics before, so it's really nice to see that. The Sunfire elves are regrouping. And we've got all these different plot lines working now. We got Amaya and Janai over with the Sunfire elves trying to help them rebuild. We've got Soren trying to do his thing and help out the main group. We've got the council trying to rule Catullus and keep that all together. The creaky relationship, because there's been a lot of bloodshed on both sides. Ezrin's speech, which is in the trailer, so I'll probably have some footage of it, is greatly paralleled in an early episode with Claudia's actions, which just is really good, that whole scene. They have some really good, solid moments that I can point to say, these are the moments I was on board. And it really is great. Ezrin's actions very much contrast Viren, and in a way, Viren almost redeems himself. It's actually really interesting. So, after his death, he basically had this moment of, I'm only going to be alive for a month. Do I want to spend this trying to break some ancient evil out of its prison in order to do what I think needs to be done? Or do I want to spend this time not trying to ruin my life more? He even has this moment where he turns to Claudia and is like, maybe we should just go out there. Humans are allowed in Zadia now, so we could just build a cabin and, live for a little bit. I could just watch sunsets with you and be your father. And there's this moment where it's very clear that he regrets maybe not the actions that he performed, like he still feels like they were necessary at the time, but he regrets how they've destroyed his life and the lives of everyone around him. And he recognizes that maybe he could just stop and live out this last month that Claudia bought with suffering and just be there for her. And it's really interesting. And honestly, it's really, really sad seeing just how close he comes to redeeming himself, only to fall back into the same bad habits. Ironically, it is Claudia who Viren raised with this kind of mindset that ends up encouraging him back into his self-destructive ways. Again, the writing is really good. I have to make this very clear. Writing is excellent. The animation, however, is a bit more mixed. On one hand, the design of the characters and the world are pretty good. I like the Dragon Prince's aesthetic, and shots still look great. Its animation, though, has always been a little off. It's gotten much better as the season went on. First season, it's honestly hard to watch season 1 because they had some hiccups in the animation back then. Nowadays, it's pretty clear, and at times it looks amazing. But there are little moments where things just don't quite mesh. I'd like to see improvement there. Aside from the animation, though, I do have one major complaint. Let's get into that. This is the thing I would improve, and it's the romance. Now, romance is not my bread and butter. Quite frankly, I don't really get it. But I can tolerate it as a narrative plotline so long as they don't make it painful, because I can understand relationships between characters. And quite frankly, the side romances are good. I kind of like Amaya and Janai being cute together. It's nice. I like the struggles they go through, and the arguments they have. Or Claudia's new elf boyfriend, which is actually kind of funny when Viren first learns about it. That's kind of hilarious. But Callum and Rayla got together at the end of season 3. And I was actually kind of on board with that, because I'm like, okay, we don't get to see a lot of couples just being couples in animation. At least it's something interesting. I like when writers are willing to commit, not play around with will they, won't they. It's like, they're the protagonists and you've been setting them up. 95% says they're going to do it. Just make it clear early on. Because quite frankly, we see enough will they, won't they things played out in animation forever. I mean, hell, we had Aang Katara doing that thing. And it's like, we all knew they were gonna get together at the end. It's just set something up early and let us see how that plays out. Maybe it'd be more interesting. And there's this annoying thing writers do sometimes whenever they get the characters together too early and they want to backtrack. They'll have a time skip, there'll be some argument, and then they'll just kind of revert them back a season character development wise. And it's really annoying, especially since it's kind of stupid that Rayla couldn't just stop by and say hi sometime during the last 2 years. That's all Callum wanted was hey, you ran off in the middle of the night one day and just didn't tell us, and you've been gone for 2 years with no word, and I had no idea if you were even alive. Yeah, I'm kind of pissed. And it's just basically it's dumb characters being dumb and not just talking, because if they talked, all their problems would be freaking solved. So, I don't like bad writing, and it's really frustrating to say this is just bad writing. I don't have a stake in this fight. If you don't want them to be paired together, don't pair them together. I genuinely don't care, because I don't really care about that stuff in general. But if you're gonna put it in your story, and you're gonna put scenes like the end of season 3 and stuff like that together, at least commit to it. Because if you're not gonna commit to it, then why are you even doing it? Anyway, aside from that though, my only complaint was that I just wanted more of this. So let's get into the conclusion. In conclusion, I really like this show. I think it has great characters, it has good writing, excellent themes about the slippery slope, how shortcuts can destroy you, how holding on to grudges ends up poisoning you. There's excellent stuff about the toxic mindsets and how they can influence future generations. I just love this show so much, and I think it's willing to go places other shows aren't, partially because it's on Netflix. This show is aimed at a very Avatar-ish demographic, but for those of you who don't know, Avatar was actually heavily restricted in what it was able to show. For one thing, they weren't able to use swords or other weaponry as much as they wanted because Nickelodeon didn't want any blood in the show. And the Dragon Prince is completely willing to do stuff like that. It's willing to take out the sharp objects and have people die. It's willing to have stakes. It's willing to talk about death and grieving and the pain and suffering you can inflict upon others. It is perfectly willing to go to those slightly darker places and have earnest conversations about them, which is very refreshing for a show. And quite frankly, I just think the writers know what they're doing and have a good grasp of the material. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect. I still would like to see... I think Season 3 was stronger. I liked Season 3 slightly more than 4, but there were more dragons in the season, so it's kind of cheating for me. And I feel like if I also think about the dragons, I'm going to give this like higher than Season 3, but I think narratively Season 3 was stronger, and so I have to rank this slightly below it. But 9 out of 10, like, I'm arguing whether this is perfect or almost perfect. This is a really good show. It's fantastic. I highly recommend anyone who's into animation, who likes Avatar: The Last Airbender, who likes fantasy or dragons, just watch the show. Give it a chance. I do make it clear, though, if you haven't watched Season 1, make sure you get to at least Season 2. I know it's a big ask, but Season 1 has some animation problems, and if that's what's turning you off, Seasons 2, 3, and 4, they get much, much better. They're not as much of a problem anymore. Animation can still be improved, but quite frankly, I think it has really good moments, and it can look really pretty at times. So, all in all, I highly recommend this series. Moving on from that, I'm actually not going to be doing spoiler talks for the foreseeable future. They eat up a lot of time, and it's just a lot of extra effort. I feel like I'm just going to try and get across what I want to say in the review itself, though I might have some specific episodes with their own spoiler sections if I need to. However, at this time, I don't have any other additional thoughts that need spoilers to talk about. So, we're going to move on to the announcements. Alright, announcement time. So, I am doing a few different things at the moment. First up, I had a variety stream this Tuesday. I played a bunch of different games with one of my friends. It was nice and fun, nice and casual. But the reason I did that instead of starting a new game this Tuesday was because I'm going to be streaming the new God of War game starting this Thursday. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. I should be getting my pre-order in, tomorrow, I think, today. Either today or tomorrow, and I will be starting that up. It's going to be really, really interesting. I've been looking forward to God of War Ragnarok for a long time. If you didn't know, I do stream. I was doing it on Twitch, but now I'm doing it on Twitch and YouTube. Streams are now currently set at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes one of my friends will show up. It's, just something I do, so I have an organized time to get footage. I'd love it if somebody showed up. And yeah, that's what we're doing right there. As for future video topics, I will be doing a review eventually for Steel Rising. That thing has been shelved, though, for the foreseeable future. However, I am going to release my review of Black Adam. I already have most of the footage recorded, audio recorded for that, so you don't have to worry. So that review will likely be coming out on on Friday. So, for those of you who don't know, and I'm going to be trying to post some stuff maybe in the community tab so I can get this organized. I'm working on some stuff for that. But I'm going to have streams on Tuesday and Thursdays at 7:30. New episodes of the Dragon's Library will be coming out on Wednesday and Saturday. This is to allow me more time for Friday night reviews, so I'm not constantly saying the episode's delayed. I can just say, hey, I'm going to make the episode and record it and do the editing on Saturday. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. On your screen, you should be seeing a link to my channel. You go there and subscribe, that'd be great. In addition, you'll be seeing 2 other links. One's to my Season 2 playlist. That's all the videos from 2022. In addition, below that, you should be seeing a link to a video that YouTube apparently recommends you click on. So, why not click on it? See one of my other videos. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe it'll have something else you'll enjoy. Maybe YouTube doesn't know shit. We'll find out together.